Hello and welcome to www.lostboys.com. My name is Chris McGuigan and you're listening to podcast number 141 on August the 10th, 2012. Well, the match has just ended in Helsinki and Celtic have obviously won 2-0. So I caught up with Jamie and Jerry. How do we talk about that match? Look back to the Aberdeen game at the weekend and even done a wee bit on the first leg of the Helsinki match. We also take a look forward to the Real Madrid game at the weekend and, well, also talk about a few other odds and ends going on in the world of Celtic this week. Listen through to the end and you'll have your last chance to hear the question for Chris's book and also a few wee announcements as well. Here we go. Hope you enjoy it. Alright, it is Wednesday the 8th of August 2012 and on the line as you would expect is Gerard Dale, treasurer of the Calgary Celtic Supporters Club. Good evening, Gerard.
Good evening, Chris. Waiting patiently.
And eventually on the line, whenever it took his fancy, is Jamie Burchell from lostboys.com. Good evening, James.
What?
It's real you may yawn, bloody Rip Van Winkle.
Fall asleep.
No kidding. Not only did you fall asleep, but the whole of the Twitter world knows that you fell asleep now because we've sent out a search party for you in the last hour.
Oh, great.
All sorts of things.
Check that out.
All sorts of things were suggested to bring Jamie Burchell onto the podcast tonight, some of which I couldn't even mention on air.
That's great. I'm back. Look, here's what's happening. In Houston, there's crazy allergies going on this time of year, which is really strange, and it's knocking me out.
That's what you're going to go with. That's your big excuse. Allergies.
That's all I got.
Houston. It's built upon a swamp. It's always been the same, and you're saying that this week was special?
No, honestly, I'm not feeling very well. So now how do you feel making fun of me?
Do you want me to be honest or do you want me to lie to you?
You could lie. You could start off by being nice.
Sorry, I don't have that bone in my body tonight. I'm sitting here drinking coffee at 11:05 in the evening and we're only starting this bloody podcast. But anyway.
I'm really sorry, Jerry. I'm really sorry, Chris. Won't happen again.
All right, Jimmy. Good enough. Okay. It just shows you, I'm sure Jerry and Jimmy, you're both the same, before you have children, you're full of piss and vinegar and people mess with you, you're like, ah! And after you have kids after a while, you're like, see when they give you an apology, that's good enough, isn't it? I just roll over now. I've become a big softie.
Well, that's all you're going to get from me. I mean, I screwed up. What do you want?
Hey, don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. It's good enough. I've taken your apology. Good enough.
It was a lovely nap, if you'd like to know. It was thunderstorming. It was quite lovely.
Well, I'm glad you're happy. All right, so we've got lots and lots to talk about this week because we probably won't have a podcast next week, a Three Amigos podcast next week because we've only got Real Madrid at the weekend. I know Rangers are playing Peterhead and we've got Real Madrid, but we'll probably not do one next week. What do you think?
Sounds fine with me. Jerry?
That's good with me. I'm on holidays the week after that as well, though.
I'm actually going to try and do a wee thing with a couple of the guys that are putting together the Blackpool Celtic convention, and I might have just a wee interview next week with those boys. So that'll be good fun for that. So we don't really have any football. Okay, but we have had plenty of football since our last little get together. We have played the two legs against Helsinki. We won the first one at home 2-1. We won the second one away in Europe. Yes, I'll say that again. Away in Europe, 2-0 tonight in Helsinki. And we had sandwiched in between that a 1-0 victory at home to Aberdeen. So everything in the garden is quite rosy. Yes?
Take us away, Jerry.
Results-wise, everything is impressive, yes. There's been some criticism of the level of performance, but I'm not overly critical of it at this stage of the season. I think we've accomplished everything that we need to accomplish at this time point.
I thought the games have been quite brilliant. I've really enjoyed them. Of course, Celtic are going to be Celtic and, be up 1-0 and Wanyama's going to pull a stupid move. So everyone's going to be a little, pucker up for the next 20 minutes, to pull out the win. But, they came and Sammy had a brilliant goal. And it's been fun to watch. Great to have football back.
Okay, so we'll look very quickly back at the first leg at Celtic Park. A 2-1 victory. We went down a goal to nil in the 47th minute, and then a lovely move. Ended up with a beautiful pass by Samaras into Hooper. Made it 1-1, and then a great header by Charlie Mulgrew made it 2-1. There was an awful lot of negativity, I thought, from the fans after that result. I thought 2-1 was all right. I was hoping for 2-0, but I thought 2-1 was okay based on how we played. I mean, the other team didn't really scare me much, and I thought that was a good enough result to take away from home. Did anybody think anything different, or did I miss it completely?
It was 2-1, but I think it was going on at least 4-1. You know, Celtic had they created a ton of chances in that second half. Mm-hmm. And as I said, just at this endpoint of the season, I don't think you can be overly critical that they didn't convert a lot of those chances. That will come. I'm confident of that you know, as long as you keep creating the chances, the goals will materialise. I thought the first leg, Celtic played very well.
I thought the life got sucked out of Celtic, you know, because Helsinki came out right at the second half and scored right away, and you could just feel the whole place, like the life suck out of Celtic Park. And then, you know what, Celtic woke up, made it happen, scored 2, and, you know, move on.
I thought it was very...
Jamie, that's been the criticism of the past couple of seasons is, you know, if Celtic had fallen behind 1-0, they might have just caved in and they could have suffered, you know, at least a defeat, if not a heavy defeat after that.
Sorry.
Whereas last week, you know, they went down the goal, but immediately came back and got the equaliser, and then very shortly thereafter got the winner.
Do you know what I liked about it? I thought it was a very, very attacking formation for a European game from a Celtic team. I know we've been bitten in the past by that, but I just thought Celtic came at Helsinki, as they should do. I think they set out a marker that we're Celtic, remember who you are and who you're playing. You know, they come out with Commons and Ledley and Wanyama and Samaras and Hooper. I thought we came forward again
Forrest.
and again and again. Yeah, Forrest. I just thought it was very, very positive. And even when we went to goal down, Jerry, I agree with you. I thought we made lots and lots of chances, and that's why I felt very confident going into this second leg tonight. You know,
it's a good observation about the lineup because it had Forrest, Commons, and Samaras all in it, and this is sort of a question I've been having in my mind: is how do you accommodate all three at the same time? And they seemed to pull it off quite easily last week.
Yeah, I mean, and even the especially the first goal, our equaliser, I thought it was a brilliant move. You know, the team just seemed to click, and I thought they had a wee bit of spark about them on Wednesday night. And we'll get on to talk about Aberdeen in a minute. That's a whole different ball game. But I thought, you know, for the first game of the season, Helsinki had already played, you know, 10, 11 games at that stage.
18.
As many as 18, Jerry, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I mean, there you go. I thought it was a good result. And, you know, any result that you get in Europe these days, I'll take it.
18 games. They're not very good.
Well, you know, they played Finland.
I was just reading tonight after the game, Jamie, they haven't lost at home in 2 seasons.
Is that right?
I don't know if that was domestic and European or just European, but they haven't lost at home in two years.
Wow. All right, so from that, okay, so we were in buoyant mood, and then we'll fast forward to Saturday lunchtime and the Aberdeen game, and it was a different fare. But the only thing I would say to you is it was the first game of the season. There's always I hate hoo-ha before a match. See, I know it was great to sort of unfurl the flag and all that there kind of stuff and fireworks and everything. But see, when there's always hoo-ha, the match is always rubbish.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah. Every time. Without fail.
You know, it's like trying to create an atmosphere. It doesn't work. There's either an atmosphere or there's not an atmosphere, but you can't create a false atmosphere.
Well, you know what? Of the pre-match festivities, I like that guard of honour that Aberdeen, the players made for Celtic as they're coming out. Is that something that's sort of went by the wayside?
Do you like it?
Yeah,
I do.
Nice.
You know, I can understand it at the end of the season, whenever a team has already won the championship. But the start of the season, the first match, not really fussed on that. I think it's
I was asking the question, do they still do that on a regular basis now?
I'm not really sure. I don't think there's anything to say that anybody has to do it, is there? Usually somebody starts it and everybody continues on, but I'm not a great fan.
How could you not like that? It's like if I handed you a lump of gold, you're going to complain it was too heavy. Jesus Christ.
Jimmy,
it was
look,
awesome.
I'm a bad loser. I mean, I'm thinking more if my greatest rivals were the champions and I had to stand there and clap them onto the pitch. Me arse, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm sure every Aberdeen player clapping Celtic onto the pitch was going, oh, for God's sake, what a bloody circus this is.
It was sportsmanlike. I thought it was perfect.
No, end of the season it's fine. Start of the season, clean slate, everybody's after it again. They all had the same number of points starting the game on Saturday. Load of crap.
Whatever. It was the flag, they were putting up the champion flag. It was the first game. They honored the Celtic. I thought that was great. And I would like to see Celtic honor somebody else for once. That would be really nice.
Do you even think there's any need for that for the first game of the season?
Yes.
Do it at the last day. Do it at the last day of the season. Fly the flag from the bloody stand. That's it done.
Ugh. No.
I didn't like the fact that they went out in that big red T right in the middle of the pitch.
Is that the only criticism you have, the big red T? It's all about aesthetics for you, Jerry, isn't it? All about aesthetics. Love it.
There you go.
I actually thought at one stage the flag wasn't even going to go up the pole.
See, I missed it. I still haven't seen it.
Have you not?
No, our coverage come on just as they're getting lined up in the tunnel. That's when our coverage started.
Oh, the tunnel. Did you see the big picture in the tunnel? About Celtic always been here, always will, or something along those lines. Yes. How marvellous was that? I love those wee cheap shots. I'm really into the cheap shots.
Yeah. See, that's what little guys do, Jerry, right? They come up, they hit you in the nuts, and
you're damn straight.
Laugh, kick you when you're down,
that's
and run
it.
away.
Yep.
He's always been a little guy. So
yep.
He likes those cheap shots.
You know it, man. Talk behind people's backs, the whole 9 yards. That's us. That's us. We love the old cheap shots and run away. Brilliant. So I thought that set a good mood for Saturday. But I don't know. I'm not.
It quickly evaporated, didn't it?
Oh God! I tell you, it's all about the hoo-ha. The hoo-ha is not good. All right, so
what happened?
What?
You know what happened?
Nothing.
Last Wednesday, they were wearing the hoops with white socks.
Jerry.
Saturday, they went back to those black socks. I think they're cursed.
Jerry, that's why you're the best. Hear that, Jimmy? Do you hear that? He's got it already. It's the black socks.
I think that's had to be it. Not the fact that Aberdeen played a very good game and smothered.
10 men behind the ball the whole game.
Yeah, basically. Played 10 men. Decide, you know what, no sounds good to us.
And the black socks.
And the black socks.
Yeah, so we actually finally kicked off the bloody match after about an hour and a half of starting around and firecrackers going off and all that kind of good stuff. And it just didn't get into first gear, did it?
Not until McCourt and Murphy come on. And that was, 65 minutes, 70 minutes?
And that last statement just says it all.
Well, that's not entirely accurate because there was, I thought Commons was quite lively throughout the game. And he laid off a couple of beautiful passes for Hooper, and they just didn't come off.
Mm-hmm.
And Hooper's one of the ones that's been getting the most criticism so far, early doors in this season, that he has to be doing more. But did we not have the same criticism of him last season, that he would get off to a slow start?
Well, the first leg against Helsinki, the boy had one touch of the ball on his boot and it ended up in the back of the net. That's the only touch he had the whole game. He fell over about 15 times, but he touched the ball once and scored a goal. You really can't criticise that. That's what he's paid to do.
Is it just he's one of these types of players that just he's a slow starter?
I don't know. I think. I mean,
last season he to start making that.
I think it's a bit early. I think last season he looked like he was a wee bit chunkier than what he is this season. The team doesn't look as fat. We look a bit fitter than we did at the start of the season last year. Even Commons has been on the Chris McGuigan diet. All right, that's a bit of a stretch.
Well, he was on the Chris McGuigan diet last year as well.
But I think that the team looks like it. I mean, even tonight, you're saying that team's played 18 games or whatever. Celtic looked pretty fit tonight, I thought. I thought they'd done well.
But you're on the Aberdeen game. You're talking about the Aberdeen game.
Yeah, I know that. I just thought the team has started off well for the season, looking a bit sharper than, what I kind of expected for start of the season stuff.
For the Aberdeen game, here's an interesting stat. Who won the possession game against Aberdeen? Aberdeen or Celtic?
Now, you must be sitting looking at the BBC website here, are you? You're looking at Aberdeen 58% and Celtic 42%, but it means nothing when it says Celtic 1, Aberdeen 0.
Okay.
Why are you just going to roll over?
No, I'm saying it doesn't mean anything for one game. If you keep those statistics for an entire season, you're going to lose games, a lot of games.
Okay, so you want some more statistics? Celtic shots 9, Aberdeen 5. On target, Celtic 5, Aberdeen 2. There's some
6-4. Okay.
There's some stats for you, big boy.
No, but if you saw what happened last weekend, get used to that, because if you want to beat Celtic, there's your formula right there. If you want to try to go attack Celtic, attack, you're going to lose.
Did Aberdeen even try to attack much?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the formula. So get ready for some boring football.
I wasn't overly impressed with Mr. McGinn.
No, I wasn't really worried about him.
No.
Were you?
No. I think, I like McGinn, but I thought he looks like an Aberdeen player now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he couldn't have made the squad.
No, he's not getting into that Celtic team right now.
Not at all.
No, but good luck to him anyway. Nice bloke. Any complaints about the team? Foster, Matthews, Izagiri, Ronya, Commons, Ledley, Kyle, Wanyama, Samaras, Stokes and Hooper. Good to see Kyle back. Jared?
I was curious. What is the situation with Brown? Is he injured? Are they just being cautious with him? What is the situation with him? Because I read something this week that Lennon was intimating that they might have to restrict the number of games he sees this season.
Because of this recurring, it's an ankle injury he has, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know. I haven't found out exactly what the situation is with him. But you can't really have any complaints with that lineup. The same with Forrest. Obviously, he had an eye towards tonight in terms of his team lineup for Saturday. I think the big talking point coming out of that game is Anthony Stokes.
Okay. Are you going to give us a downer on Stokes?
He's really becoming you're either an Anthony Stokes supporter or you're not. And people seem to be falling on either side right now.
Well, what side of the fence do you fall on, injured?
I don't dislike him. I don't think he's the key to the success of Celtic right now. I think he's the type of player that will score you 20 goals in the SPL, and during the season, some of those goals will win you a game or two. He's a bit player right now, I think.
Ooh, that's a bit harsh, James.
Do you think it's harsh?
You don't think that's harsh?
I thought it was being fair.
I think he's a damn good player. I think he's made, I don't think he's off the ball the greatest. That's not his game, but, being in the middle and he's got a great foot, he puts the ball in the net for Celtic. I'll take 20 to 25 goals a season from him.
Mm-hmm.
I think I agree with Jamie on that.
Go ahead.
I do. I think I agree with you on that, Jamie. I know I'm a Stokes fan. I have a real soft spot for Stokes. I think the big question mark for, if you're looking at our three strikers, let's talk about our three strikers. Let's say Samaras, Stokes, and Hooper, right?
Who's the third?
Murphy.
Samaras, Stokes, and Hooper. Stop pissing about.
He got on again today.
I know he did. Right, okay, but that is going to be my point, and it's going to include Murphy, right? So if we've got three strikers, three recognised strikers in Samaras, Stokes, and Hooper, because all last season we talked about which two out of the three would we play, and we've done that every single week for bloody 52 weeks. But anyway, and I know we've got Murphy in the wings. That's the whole thing with the strikers at the minute. I don't think there's enough competition. So if you're saying Stokes is off the boil a wee bit, or he'll get you 20 goals, well, strikers are paid to get you 20 goals a season, and you can only beat the teams that they put in front of you. And for that alone, I think Stokes is Stokes is our number 10. He is our striker. Him and Hooper and Samaras are our strikers, and you can take any two of the three, or even all three, and if you lost any of them, you'd miss them.
But is he not a luxury when... You didn't see him last week. You didn't see him tonight. So what's his job?
Well, we talked earlier on about Hooper being a slow starter last year. Maybe Stokes is starting slow this year. But I think he still contributes to the team. You don't think so? You think he's too quiet?
No, I think he has he does contribute to the team, but he has a limited contribution.
I just said that Hooper touched the ball once in the first game against Helsinki and scored a goal, and that's all he had to do.
But you've seen in the time that Anthony Stokes has been here, he hasn't... I'm not going to use the word trust. It's not that the manager doesn't trust him, but the manager doesn't rate him to play him in the bigger games.
I think that's harsh. I don't know if I agree with that, Jared. Well... Okay, yes, that's probably a valid point that the manager doesn't pitch him in to start at the bigger games. I think that's fair.
So that tells you something.
Maybe so.
I'm going to give you my take, okay? I'm going to give you my take on the whole Stokes situation. It's the same damn thing as last year. There's just a Celtic supporter. There's a certain type of Celtic supporter out there that you're never going to please. And Jerry, you don't fall on this, and I'm not saying you are, about the Stokesy situation. I think that when you love your team as much as we all do, you're going to nitpick, right? But there's a certain nitpicker that belongs in the Celtic community that is a real pain in my ass, all right? And they are never happy. You hand them a whole thing of gold, and they're whining that it's too heavy. Where am I going to cash this in? That player? Those people are annoying, and they're in our community, right? They're kind of part of the Celtic sport. You see them on Twitter all the time, right?
I know exactly what you're saying.
And some are even doing podcasts, right? So that guy, those guys, you can never make happy. They're never going to be happy. If they win the treble, you're going to be like, well, we drew against Ross County. That guy's, I'm telling you can't please that guy. And what's unfortunate is they're very vocal, right? Like, oh, the pitch is awful today. It's bouncy. Well, you know what's an artificial fucking pitch in a country of like 100,000 people? I mean, what do you want?
It's Finland. Turf will freeze.
It'll freeze. They have to have artificial turf. Are you kidding me? All right? The ref is terrible. No, he's not. He's not terrible. Okay? I've seen a lot worse refs. He's not great.
We'll see them this week, by the way.
Okay? Yeah, we probably will. But, okay, he's not terrible. He's not biased against you. No, he doesn't care. He's just calling a ticky-tack game. So lay off the ref and just try to watch the game.
But, Jamie, is that... that sort of type of attitude that you're talking about, is that old grumpy farts, or is that just young kids that have no experience? Or do you think it's just a stereotype Celtic supporter?
It's just a certain type of Celtic supporter.
It's not unique to Celtic. It's at every club in every sport. Every sport has got those critics.
And you just want to ring their
It's just you follow some of them on Twitter and they happen to be Celtic supporters.
But Jamie, you're absolutely right, because that's why I brought up the Stoke situation, because he seems to be the one right now that's just people are focusing on, and it seems to be that's the source of a lot of complaint right now. It just generates a lot of complaint.
But think about this: when we started, and I used the from little acorns come mighty oaks. There was just us and Celtic and someone else, right? that was it. But now, and I'm not saying we did this, but the need for Celtic media has been such that a lot of other podcasts and shows have grown. So when you have this much content, someone's going to get picked on, because it can't be a love fest for 12 hours of podcasting a week, right? You got to pick on someone.
We've been picking on people for 3 years.
That was just referencing to the people I was watching the game with, because there was a couple of opportunities. Stokes just put the ball over the bar, and that was it. That was just the fuse for people to get off on. About Stokes.
Well, do you not think that if Jimmy Langfield hadn't have missed the ball on Saturday, Commons would have been coming in for that sort of criticism too? Because, I mean, if Commons doesn't hit the target, he hits a bloody corner flag when he shoots.
Oh, I think Commons is probably the most creative player in that side right now. His range of passing is far surpasses anybody else in the side.
I agree, but I'll tell you something, we weren't saying that about him last season. Commons had a very, very ordinary season last year, and being very nice there. But I agree, I think he's a smashing player, but when it comes to his shooting's wild, so it is. At times. And then everybody's going to say, oh, well, what about the one?
Langfield two
I know.
Really good saves on Saturday.
I know.
Almost identical saves.
Yeah, but Commons has been known to hit row Z at Celtic Park. You know what I mean?
On a regular basis.
Yeah.
But that's my point. Now we're talking about Stokes. I mean, Stokes scored, I don't know how many he scored last year. What did he score? 17, 18 goals last year. Commons scored 1. Right, but all of a sudden now, Stokes, get him out of the team, and Commons is the most creative player we've got. It swings and roundabouts. That's what happens.
Of course it will.
Yeah. So what about Jordan Rhodes when we sign him?
I'm waiting for I'm waiting for the what's wrong with the Izzy debate to fire up.
Oh, that's starting to really rip my tights, so it is. All of a sudden, Izagiri's now rubbish. He's rubbish, right? He's rubbish. He shouldn't even be on the team. You know what? Get a freaking grip, people.
Should have sold him when we had a chance.
That's right. Damn idiot went and broke his leg, inconsiderate.
Damn South American piece of crap.
Hey, I've got an idea. Let's move Charlie Mulgrew back into left back.
Did he play on Saturday, by the way?
He did not play on Saturday, no. No.
That's right. Kelvin Wilson actually come on, didn't he?
Kevin Wilson did come on. Calvin Wilson did come on, yeah. Him, Murphy and McCourt were the 3 subs that come on.
Remind me, Chris.
And that was McCourt was the big. He was the catalyst on Saturday, wasn't he? Did you notice the tempo picked up as soon as he came on?
That's only because we've got a brilliant song about him.
Whether they've got a brilliant song or not, he changed the game. I think.
He did. He was creating.
I don't know if he. I don't know that he necessarily did it himself, but I think his appearance showed to other people we've got a job to get done here.
I find I've fallen into a really, really bad trap here with Paddy McCourt. I really struggle to praise him. And maybe I am one of those supporters when it comes to Paddy McCourt that you've just talked about there, Jamie, because I struggle with Paddy McCourt. I really do.
Isn't he your countryman?
Yeah, he is. But, I just don't get it. And Harper and me fight the piece out about Paddy McCourt because he loves Paddy McCourt. And I have little time for Paddy McCourt. I just don't get him. If he played for 90 minutes like he does for 90 seconds and everybody goes woo and wow and thinks he's fantastic, I would love Paddy McCourt, but he just doesn't have enough interest in a game regularly enough for me. He looks bored. He looks like the wee lad whenever you play football when you're a youngster. He's really, really good at something and you pick him on your team and he's like, I can't really be arsed.
He does look like a kid who's on the pitch who's like brilliant for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then picking daisies.
Aye. Yeah.
For 90 minutes, right?
The attention span mightn't be that good.
He does. So I can see that. But I like Paddy. But I don't have the pull that you have. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like I can criticize Paddy. I don't want to hear it. He's one of those players that you either really love him or really don't like him. So,
Jared,
stay away.
Are we really going to have the Paddy McCourt debate again?
I know we've been down this road numerous times, and I fall to your side, Chris. It was somewhat overrated. Let's put it that way.
I'll tell you what I'm getting close to having a debate on very soon. We're about 2 or 3 weeks away from this because Victor Wanyama. Not getting that either. Not getting.
Did you see him on Saturday?
Yeah.
He was he was immense on Saturday. That was the other change of the game. When they put him in the middle of the park, that changed the game.
He scares me, Jerry. Did you see him tonight? Would you say he was outstanding tonight?
I know.
Did you see him last week in the European game?
He's immature. Immature in the sense that he's a young player and he's still learning the game.
That's why I said I'm about 2 or 3 weeks away from the Victor Wanyama debate. I'm willing to keep the faith with him, but he frustrates me. I think he makes really, really silly passes, and I think he dwells on the ball way too long on occasion. But that's not taking anything away from the lad. The lad's got lots and lots of talent, right?
It's some of the like the booking tonight. It's those needless little tackles he puts in. The man's beat him, and he just sticks a leg in, and that's what gets him in trouble.
Mm.
I mean, it probably wasn't a card because the guy was like twirling in midair, and he sold it really good. But you just can't do that when you're already on a yellow. That.
No, it's
absolutely right, Jamie. Yeah.
Just inexperience.
Now, should the manager have been protecting him tonight?
Yeah, maybe. We'll talk about tonight's game in the email. Okay, so let's finish up with Aberdeen then. God, this podcast is starting to go negative, and you can't really say that we should be talking about this in a negative slant. We've played 3 games and won 3 games.
That's why I wanted to make that point at the start of the podcast. I'm quite content with where we're at in the season. We've played 3 competitive games. We've won 3 competitive games. I've got no complaints.
Oh, absolutely, I'm not arguing with any of that, Jerry. Not arguing with any of that at all. In fact, I'm very excited. I would still like to see another couple of fresh faces coming in, but I mean, what I've seen so far has been good. Okay, right? Sort of 6.5 out of 10 sort of stuff. Good enough.
And you know what we've seen in those 3 games is you had a certain line-up in formation last Wednesday, then you had a different one on Saturday, and then a different one again tonight.
Well, that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about tonight. I want to talk about Neil Lennon tonight and just tactics in general, because the wee man's getting it right from what I can see so far. Okay, so Aberdeen, good goal, dead jammy. Yeah, of course it was dead jammy. Got away with a 1-0 win. First game of the season to get 3 points. I really don't care how we get 3 points. I'm just delighted to get off the pitch with the points in the bag.
Nah, job done.
Yeah, job done. I agree.
There's no description section on the table.
That's right.
Points go on.
That's right. Absolutely delighted. And I tell you what.
Also comment. It was good to see Jamie Langfield back for Aberdeen. Actually, given the health scare he had last season.
That's true too, Jerry. Good point. I'll tell you something else, lads. See, when it comes to the last quarter of the season, I'll take a 1-0 win over Aberdeen any day of the week, because Aberdeen might be the ones barking at our heels.
That's the other comment I made at the end of the game. Is I think they've built themselves a not too bad a team.
They're going to be hard to beat. Let's put it that way. And if Wee McGinn starts to turn on a wee bit against smaller teams, and the other young lad, the other Irish boy, Vernon, I think Aberdeen might be all right. They'll do all right this season. You know, they'll not be in the
good mix. You know, they've got Gavin in the middle for them. You know, like you said, McGinn, Langfield back in goals. Mm-hmm. You know, they'll.
You can say a lot of things about Wee Brown, but he knows how to organise a team too, doesn't he?
Right, and they were very organised on Saturday.
Anyway, all right. Enough about Masonic handshakes. Let's move on. So that was too easy, wasn't it? Okay, so we went away to the second leg tonight, and obviously came back with a 2-0 victory this evening. Sound like we're good tonight?
Oh yeah, fun to watch.
I mean, they played well, and I thought, as I alluded to not 5 minutes ago, sound like got their tactics right tonight. They drew that team to them, and then hit them.
I'm thinking there's probably only about 15-20 minute spell in the second half that Helsinki causes any bother.
Yeah, well, they started to get a few corners and stuff, Jerry, that's right. And then they missed a real good chance where Big Foster, he took off 2 good saves actually in about 10 minutes. Which sort of kept us in it.
You know, it was, I don't think Celtic were dominating or flashy or anything like that, but they're very professional, workmanlike, and that's what wins you the games.
Mm-hmm. Joe Ledley played his usual Joe Ledley role tonight, didn't he? He done nothing fancy at all, and then turned up from nowhere to score the first goal.
Did you see the run he made to get in the box?
Yeah. I just thought the team clicked well tonight. I thought we were good. I thought we'd done all right.
Mm-hmm.
Wee bit suspect at the back at times, but you know, I think we invaded that on us. But Samaras even moving forward, Spike Sammy's playing out of his skin at the minute.
Yeah, there was one point in the first half. I was starting to shout at him again. I said, the old Samaras is back. You know, he was just taking one of those meandering runs and ended up just passing the ball off the defender's shins and losing possession. But you're right, he's just a handful when he's at top flight.
Here, tell you what, that was some kick in the mouth he got on Saturday, wasn't it? Ouch. And he went down to, and I bet you everybody went, freaking typical bloody Greek, there he is, he's down. A wee close-up of his face and he's streaming, isn't he?
That so sucks too, because I went, get up.
Yeah.
And then I see the blood and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry about that, sorry.
She apologized to the screen.
Yeah.
My bad. Take it off, big guy. Rub some dirt on it. You guys say that over there? Rub some dirt on it?
No.
That's what you say to your kid when he's, hurt.
Walk it off. Magic sponge.
Walk it off. Rub some dirt on it. You're all right. Take it off, big guy.
Quit your gurning. But no, it was good tonight. So what do we think of the tactics tonight? What do we think of Mr. Lennon? 3 games, 3 victories. Getting it right?
Yeah, it was. I was curious to see, first of all, if Forrest would be available, and then if he was available, would he be playing? But he went for more of a stronger defensive midfield than more of an attacking one tonight, and come off brilliantly. And again, played Wanyama in the middle of the field as opposed to a central defender. I think that's his best position.
You still have the Slayer of the Brits to put back in that team too.
I would have liked
the Slayer of the Brits, Ki Sung Young.
Oh, that's right. Did you hear the commentator when they take that penalty?
Fantastic.
Key of Celtic.
Yeah, to destroy Britain's hopes or something, was it? It was something like that, yeah. So we still...
Do you think he'll come back?
Yeah, I do. Do you know?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
It all depends how touchy the EPL teams get coming up to the end of the transfer window. You always get one team that does that sort of, splattergun approach for the last 5-6 days and buys about 7 players. QPR look like they're going to be favourites for that type of role this year, don't they? Like West Ham or something like that. Somebody's going to buy like 6 players, and Key might be one of those players. Yeah. Because they're all sort of, 5, 6, 7 million pound players. It happens every year. Key might sort of fall into that.
I don't think he's doing himself any harm at these Olympics.
Well, let me ask you this question. Would you rather have Key, bear in mind that the team that we have at the minute, right, and the squad we have at the minute, would you rather have Key or would you rather have 7 million quid to spend on a good centre half or another good striker?
See, I hate this debate more than anything.
Ian McGeady bought us a whole team.
He has every week, Jamie.
I hate this freaking debate more than anything. I'm a Celtic supporter. You got me into this team. I want to see them win. I don't care about what their revenue and bank account looks like.
I'm talking about buying new players. I'm saying 7 million quid buys us a good centre half. We need a good centre half. We need another striker.
We needed a good centre half since you got me into this damn thing. I don't know. I like Key. I do. He's very tidy with the ball. I like him. And you're one injury away from needing him, so I don't want to talk about selling him right now.
Brown, Cummins, Ledley, Wanyama, McCourt, Kyle, Forrest. That's a lot of midfielders.
Kyle and Brown have both shown they can't play a whole season. Just their fitness. It breaks down at some point.
Yeah. No, I'm not selling him. Let's go continue on the...
You've McGeoch to come back as well. He's another one. I'm just saying that. McGeoch. I'm just saying that 7 million quid. The young fella McGeoch, right? 7 million quid.
I'm hearing you with that guck. Do you hear him? Do you hear him dropping that McGeoch? Like he's you're like talking Star Trek over there.
I'm just saying a 7 million quid would be very handy. I'm not saying put it in a bloody bank account and the balance of books. I'm saying use it to buy more players.
All right.
Okay, so the $64,000 question: will we buy any more players? Jordan Rhodes. What?
So, are you done with the HJK game? Are we done with the Helsinki game?
Aye, 2-0, good victory in Europe. Away victory in Europe. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. We're back.
You got it. But you're not giving Charlie any props on that cross over to Ledley. I mean, you just saw Ledley chest it in, but that cross was pretty damn brilliant.
Jimmy, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
You know what was most impressive about it, Jamie? It came from the right-hand side. And if you look when he picks up the ball deep in his own end, and he makes a diagonal run across the pitch, he ends up on the right-hand side, and then he's in just outside the 18-yard box when he puts that cross in. He
thinks he's playing 5-a-side. Martin O'Neill would have roasted him. Martin O'Neill would have substituted him for being up there.
Exactly.
And fined him a week's wages for going across a halfway line.
A week's wages.
Yeah, brilliant cross. What was he doing up there?
It's true. It's true.
His run and then Ledley's run to get in the box, it was just a beautiful goal all around.
Yeah. It really was. I was in the office, so I couldn't stream, but, I own the company, so who cares? But I just thought, I was like, damn, that was awesome. And then I was like, what the hell is he doing over there?
And the black socks look lovely with that strip. Beautiful strip.
I'm not buying it yet.
The black one?
Yeah, I'm not going to buy it, literally.
Jimmy, it'll make you look a bit slimmer.
Black, but I've lost a couple LBs. I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now.
All right, so dead happy, right? So we've got Real Madrid coming up at the weekend. Well, okay, so just before we go on to Real Madrid.
Do you want to look at potential opponents now in the fourth round?
You read my mind, Gerard. You read my mind.
Good.
All right. Let's see. Here's who we've got.
Right, so now that we get through that, we'll still get the fourth round to navigate.
Right.
So where does that take us?
So we can either play CFR Cluj from Romania, Partizan Belgrade, Helsingborg, NK Maribor from Slovakia, or Hapoel Kiryat Shmona from Israel. I'm sure those pronunciations were right on the money. I'd take any of those teams.
Now, so I could.
I told you that. I told you that 2 weeks ago.
You did tell me that, Jerry. You were right. You were right.
Get through that third qualifying round, even the fourth round, there's no names there that you would say, "Oh, I hope we don't get named."
Partizan Belgrade would be tricky.
They're not in it, Chris.
What?
No,
What is
it's
that?
Cluj, Helsingborg, Maribor, Limassol, and Hapoel Shmona.
All right. Well, I'm seeing two different reports on that. Okay.
No,
Oh, right, okay.
Limassol beat Partizan tonight.
All right. Good enough then. So I'd take
I'm
any of those
concerned
teams.
about Hamasal Smegna. Sorry, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think that would be a tasty.
So Jerry,
trip.
here's my confusion over that. How did we get Arsenal one year?
Because you get it depends if you go in the Champions tract or the non-Champions tract into the playoffs, right? So that season we get drawn against Arsenal. Arsenal were not the EPL champs, and we were not the SPL champs. Whereas this season we're in the Champions tract as champions of the SPL.
They're good at confusing people, aren't they?
Yes,
Can they make
UEFA
Oh my God!
great at it. So that's the difference.
It seems more than unfair, doesn't it? Whatever happened to just draw a name out of a hat? Oh yeah, money.
The idea was to get teams from these smaller nations into the first stages.
Even that in itself is a load of rubbish, isn't it? See the European Cup. European Cup's just a farce now. I mean, is it even worth watching? The first group stages are becoming as boring as some of the other leagues in Europe because some of the teams are absolute pants in it. You know who's going to go through. Why not just have an open draw? That's my big shout for that. European Cup, put all the champions in a wee hat, draw them out. Oh, wait a minute, we tried that before.
Well, Nicosia last season, they went through it, the group of 16.
I know, Jerry, but...
the Cyprus team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big deal, because I actually know a guy from Cyprus, and he was all yapping it up. I was like, all right, well, good luck.
I think it's all just a wee bit patronising. European football's becoming rubbish
anyway.
anyway.
Those 5 teams that we could potentially get drawn against, I don't think any of us should put a great fear into us. I know Cluj have been in the Champions League. They've got some pedigree in the past few seasons, but other than that, I don't think any of the other ones would give us a real...
I'll tell you one thing. I'm sitting here on the BBC website right now, and I'm looking at today's results. So where all those teams came from, and I'll tell you, there's some teams on there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 12 games tonight, right? And I've been a football supporter for a long, long time, and there's a lot of teams on that list I've never heard of. and even more I couldn't pronounce. F91 Doodlang. Alright, I'm going to throw a few out at you here. Here's some crackers. Alright? Ekranus Panavasis, FC Vaslui, FC Sheriff Tiraspol. I might have heard of them.
They're also in it.
My God. I mean, what? Slask Roarclaw. It sounds like a bloody Vulcan language or something, something in Star Trek.
Yeah, it does.
They're going to have to get Worf to call out the results in Sky Sports News.
You know, there's some guy doing a Cluj podcast right now doing the same thing and wondering who this Motherwell team are. Never seen them in the Champions League before.
Even Cluj. Like, it even sounds a wee bit dirty, doesn't it? FC Cluj. Show us your Cluj.
It sounds really filthy. But you can, I'm going to start using that term. Jeez, my Cluj is killing me.
Right, so the 24th, 22nd, the 28th, 29th is when those games are getting played.
He cut you off there, Jamie, talking about your sore Cluj.
You've seen a Cluj. Stop being such a Cluj and let's get on with it. Yeah, it's brilliant, Christopher. I love it.
All right, I think I'm going with Cluj. I think we've found our title for tonight's podcast, Cluj.
Hey, you know who's a Cluj?
Who's a Cluj?
The Canadian women's soccer.
There's not a Cluj on that team I'd want to see.
Absolutely not. This poor team that is. What a bunch of Clujes.
Right, I'm finished. I'm awake.
Are you two going to have a wee bit of nippy slappy here, are you?
I'm done for the night.
Was it a conspiracy, Jerry?
Well, now I know what it feels like to be a Hibs supporter.
You guys got your ass kicked. USA. USA. Can you win a game? God, you had us dead and buried, and we came back and kicked your arse.
What happened? I didn't even see it. I just saw you two crammed each other on Twitter.
Dude, it was honestly one of the best football games I've seen, soccer games I've seen ever, honestly. It was back and forth, and the Canadians, they're always one step ahead, and then USA had to come back and win it and come back and forth. It was absolutely brilliant. Brilliant.
Jerry thinks that Canada was robbed.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, God, they must have been really, really blatantly robbed for Jamie to admit that.
It's really difficult for them. They probably should not have gotten the last penalty that tied it up. They probably should not have gotten the penalty that tied it up.
He's gone. He's not talking to you.
Am I breaking up?
I thought Jerry had left the building there.
That might be what Jerry's complaining about.
Was there something about did the goalkeeper hold on to the ball too long or something? Get blown up for it?
Listen, they didn't have Sinclair on your team. She's kind of good looking, I guess, for Canadian. That's all they have. Anyway, USA came back. They won 4-3. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, in the 80th minute, we probably didn't need to have a penalty there, but guess what? We won.
Do you want to continue on this debate, or we'll leave that where it is? Because I don't like the two of you falling out. It makes me unhappy.
I'm just not talking to him, that's all, Chris.
Oh, good enough, Jerry. I got through that too with him.
USA. We really kicked the 51st state's ass, didn't we?
All right, let's see what else we've got for tonight. Real Madrid on Saturday. Do we want to talk about Real Madrid on Saturday?
What's the point of that game?
No, that's what we want to talk about.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of side they send over.
Celtic or Real Madrid?
Well, Real Madrid's been here for a week and a half. It's like their third or fourth game.
I'm assuming you're not going, Gerard?
No, I told you 2 weeks ago it's cheaper for me to go. I saw somebody on Twitter the other night selling 4 tickets, $130 each.
$130 each?
Yeah.
God
almighty. Value.
We complained for a long time about Celtic not coming to America. Right? And the very fact that they are coming to America is fantastic for the fans. Put a full stop at the end of that sentence. It's brilliant that Celtic are coming over to America. And whether you agree with the principles behind it, whether it's a money-making exercise or whatever, I really don't care about that, because having lived in America for so long myself and living in Canada for so long myself, to have green and white hoops, playing in America is brilliant. And I know that, the guys that sort of live in Philly and everybody that travels to Philly and people that put a lot of time and effort into arranging different functions and stuff for all the fans coming over, it'll be a fantastic day. Good luck to all involved. What about that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Anytime you can see Celtic play in North America, it's a reason for celebration. It's a reason to be all chuffed.
That's right,
and that's why I know a lot of people are worked very hard in organising a lot of good events for the weekend, and I know they're going to have a fantastic time, and I wish I could be with them.
The only thing I would say is, I hope the team come over and try a bloody leg, because there's times they come over and they haven't.
It's almost the game will almost be a secondary event.
Yeah,
personally, to tell you the truth, I think.
Yeah, it is, but there's still pride at stake, Jerry.
I know.
The fans don't let the occasion down, but the team have let it down many's a time. But anyway, I'm not saying more about that. Good luck to everybody involved. They're only playing Real Madrid, for God's sake. Can we play Peterhead?
Just the fact, Celtic are playing Real Madrid. That's a lot of exposure for Celtic in North America.
I know, but Jerry, they have to win. If they put on ESPN America and it's live and it's lunchtime and it's Saturday and football supporters would watch any game, it's about time Celtic won. At least played well or scored a couple of goals and, give Celtic the proper name that Celtic are. A team that attacks and goes forward and has that romantic and the razzmatazz and all that kind of stuff. Come on, they need to sell Celtic. The team need to sell Celtic, not just the club. It's like bloody Ireland in the World Cup or the European Championships. Roy Keane was right. It's about time the team done something for the fans. The fans will always be brilliant. Rant over. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what else we got this week? We've done a good hour here. Hugh Keevan's banned from Celtic Park, and about time too.
You were whispering that name a couple of times.
Oh. Only because I know nothing else about it. I'm trying to sound a wee bit more windswept and interesting than what I really am. But I have heard. No big secret. I just read on Twitter the name Jordan Rhodes being mentioned more than once by more than one person.
But that name's been floating around for months, more than months.
The difference is E-Tims tweeted it again tonight, and E-Tims seem to have their finger on the pulse, So I don't know. I don't know that much about the boy, But I mean, if E-Tims said there's a good chance, I'd say there's a good chance.
But there was always that caveat attached to it if they progress through the into the group stages.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're not in the group stages yet.
Aye, exactly. And that's what we talked about a couple of weeks ago is, will there be any buys before progression in the group stages? Is it dependent on progression to the group stages?
So, are we saying then that we aren't going to sign anybody unless we go through the group stages? And are we saying that nobody's going to leave if we do go into the group stage? It's all just hanging in a balance, but there's no talk. There's no transfer talk about Celtic at the minute, is there? Either coming or going. It's still been really quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys getting on board? I'm starting to hear a little train coming, and it's the law while not spending it on train. Any credence to that train coming?
Well, it wasn't the station at this time of the season, though, Jamie.
I think people are probably just a wee bit worried that there has been... It's a long time since there have been no new faces come into a Celtic team. But there's nothing new. And it's just... It's unusual. And with transfer windows and things like that, the opportunity to add to your squad is limited. And I think people also fear that, last day of the transfer window, a couple of players leave, and then you're even in worse shape,
Right.
So Lowell will always get that pointed at him until we get a couple of people on the bench, standing in front of Celtic Park with a scarf in their hand, you know.
Perhaps what we'll look at is, addition by subtraction, because he's managed to offload some of the wage bill, and that may be success to him.
Well, has he?
Did you see Darren O'Dea signed for Toronto, by the way?
I did see that, yeah. Back in par. He'll be back by Christmas.
He's always back.
Well, he will be, because their season will be finished.
Right enough. All right, then. What else we got?
That's good. It's still early doors, and there's nothing I've seen that's glaringly worrying to me. I have no aspirations that Celtic will get out the group stages in the Champions League. I'm confident they'll qualify for the group stages. In terms of the league, there's nothing that's given me great concern. The squad as it is right now, there's glaring weaknesses, but I still think it's well equipped to get through the SPL season.
I think the league's going to be very good this year.
I think so as well.
We're one match into it, and I know our match wasn't great on Saturday, but there's different atmosphere, different buzz, isn't there? I actually found myself wanting to see Motherwell do well in Europe. I don't really like Motherwell. And Dundee United, I want to see Dundee United do well in Europe, and I don't really like Dundee United either. There's just a different atmosphere, isn't there?
It is. I'm excited. I'm really excited about watching this, the SPL, and watching Celtic and getting up at 6 a.m. I'm pumped about it, actually. I really am.
All right, lads. I think we'll sort of wrap up. What did you think of did the podcast work last week or not?
139.
Yeah, 139.
Oh, I loved it.
Did it come across okay? I didn't know what to do with it,
No, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Jamie didn't listen. Don't worry. That's good.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
But it was absolutely terrific.
What were the dressing rooms like?
The dressing rooms were basic. They weren't very high tech, I didn't think. Yeah, it was okay. I mean, I was in the away dressing room. I don't know what the home dressing room was like. But I'll tell you one thing. See the pitch? The pitch was immaculate. And that was the end of the season. And I swear to God, it really, you hear people talking about a bowling green. Like, it really was a bowling green. It was magnificent.
Uh-huh.
The grass wasn't half an inch long, like. Aye. And the
did
ball.
You get choked up at all?
I didn't get choked up. I felt a wee bit overwhelmed, sort of coming down the tunnel. Like I didn't really, I shouldn't be there. It sort of it hit you like that. You're just a supporter, and really, should supporters even be allowed to do that?
Why?
It's on boy.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir. I was just going to ask if you didn't think you should be there because you're Northern Irish.
No, it's just,
what it was?
after just sort of your whole life going there and sort of, seeing all your heroes and your stars and all the rest of it, it just didn't seem, I think it's still this, to wear the Celtic jersey still has that romantic idea for me that, you have to be the best to wear it, and, the people that we've watched have been so good throughout the years, and here was me running down the tunnel, just a wee ordinary average Joe going out to play football in Celtic Park. It just didn't seem right. I could see it at Cliftonville, your wee local team. This was Celtic, and you were allowed out onto the pitch, and you were allowed to kick a ball about, and, I've now kicked the football into the net at Celtic Park.
And kid on that you're playing for Celtic.
Yeah, even you're in the playground, being Paul McStay or whoever you were, Kenny Dalglish in my case. But it was just, I didn't think I deserved it. Does that sound weird?
Absolutely.
But it's saying that it was a thoroughly good day, like, very, very special. Something I'll always remember, like, and I enjoyed it. But yeah, good fun. But I don't think I deserve to be there.
I don't think so either.
Of course you did. You paid your money and.
Well, I mean, even still, but it's just. Okay, let me put it another way. I don't know. I know Celtic done it all for the right reasons and it all goes to charity and all the rest of it, but there's something sacred, something special about being allowed to play at Celtic Park. Just ordinary people shouldn't be allowed to play at Celtic Park. But anyway, been there, done that, and nobody can take it away from me. Been there, done that, and got the shirt, literally. Anyway, no, it's good fun. It's good fun. If you should definitely put on your bucket list to do before you die. That's me being a hypocrite, telling you now to do it. But anyway, all right. So that's it. So next week, as I say, we probably won't have Three Amigos, but we will have in about 2 weeks' time when we need to make the draw for Chris's book. Don't let me forget. I'll have to drag out the big rickety wheel and spin that. So remember, I'm going to play Chris's question at the end of the podcast, and remember that it's not too late at the end of the competition. Gentlemen, what else have we got for this evening before we wrap this up? It is now 20 past the hour of midnight.
No, nothing. I just wanted to, congrats to Great Britain for putting on a good Olympics. It has been absolutely brilliant. One of my favorite that I've watched in my lifetime. It's been really great. So congrats to Great Britain, if that's okay to say.
Not really.
Or England or whoever the heck your country is that put this together. It's pretty nice.
Good.
Way to go.
It's good to see that Ireland so far have got 3 medals, 2 in boxing, 1 in cycling. Good to see that we're good at fighting and riding. Boom, boom.
I thought that was a good joke.
I can't take the credit for that. Obviously, my wife told me that earlier on.
That's it. Burchell's just thankful for Norwegian referees at the Olympics.
I'm thankful for world domination of sport. I'm thankful that...
You've got 360 million people. I hope to hell that you can find somebody that can throw a javelin.
And at least 260 million of those were in your team.
Hold on a second. Let me tell you something that does chat my ass, right? How the hell is baseball not a sport, but this made-up game called handball is a sport?
Brilliant.
Who the hell plays handball?
A lot more countries than play baseball.
Oh, horseradish. That's ridiculous. And trampoline? How the hell is trampoline a sport? I've got one.
It's the only way Canadians can win a gold medal.
Like, who plays trampoline? It's not a sport. I've got one in my next neighbor's garden. I can go right now and jump around. You gonna give me a medal for it? Whee!
I'll give you a medal if you survive.
No, they've got those sides, Chris, for even if I fall.
We'll get pistol shooting.
I think that's good. I mean, shooting clays, shooting pistols.
Hey, lads.
That's good.
Lads, just
it's my God-given right to shoot.
I'm a wee bit disappointed that you didn't ask me about my clay pigeon shooting.
What? Did you? Who did well in clay pigeons?
Me.
Oh,
that's right.
19 out of 25, lads. Not bad from a first goal. 19 out of 25. What about that?
Huh?
Did you have a balaclava on it?
Were you over and under or an automatic?
I said to the guy, can I hide under that bush and fire? He didn't think that was funny.
What were you shooting?
What was it shooting?
What kind of gun?
Shotgun. 21 gauge shotgun, yeah? Is that right?
No. But is it over and under shotgun or is it an automatic?
No, it's shotgun.
Did you have to... Oh, forget it.
Yes, you had to crank it open and put the 2 bullets in the chamber.
Were the chambers side by side or up?
No,
up and down.
No. The up and down.
Okay.
So you get 2 shots.
Yeah, that's the true skeet.
It was dead good. So it was brilliant.
It is brilliant. I'll tell you what. First of all, that's a sport of kings, right? And that's a dead expensive sport if you want to get into it. And I'm starting to want to get into it a little more. And I mean, those shotguns are a lot of cash. And but I love shooting it. You're tired. Your shoulder hurts.
Do you know what's brilliant about it? The smell.
Yeah.
See the smell of the gunpowder? That's magic. So it is. But it was absolutely super. It cost me 25 quid for 26 shots, 25 shots.
Yeah, that's great.
I was all right with that. That was good.
I mean, now you know why I like to go. In fact, I was supposed to go shooting tonight, but I'm not. But
you go target shooting, don't you? Nothing moves.
And I've gone pigeon shooting, and I've shot trap, which is the same as skeet basically, but it goes further out, and it's a different, same gun but different settings on it.
Oh, I'm telling you, it was brilliant. All right, anyway, gentlemen, enough of that nonsense. I will talk to you all in about 2 weeks' time.
Looking forward.
And between now and then, we will have played Real Madrid and Ross County. All right, we'll do the roundup then. Gentlemen, been a pleasure. Talk to you all soon.
Fantastic. Tune in for Jamie's Thoughts video podcast coming soon to a theatre interview.
That'll be about 12 seconds.
About 5 minutes.
All right, lads. Good night. God bless you.
Right, okay. The question for the one of two books is as follows. Which Celtic player scored both the winner against Kilmarnock on the day that Celtic clinched the league in 2003-04 and also scored the final goal of the season in the Scottish Cup final?
I know that. That's quite an easy one. So for 2 free books, right, so we'll have 2 winners, and you can send your answers to lostboys@gmail.com. And the questions are again, Chris?
It is who scored the winner against Kilmarnock to clinch the league in 2003-04 and also scored the final goal in the Scottish Cup final that season.
Okay, so there we go. Great question, and send that in. And if you put on remember to include your name and address when you send in your answers, and if you put as the subject of the email book question or something like that, that makes it dead easy for us, and we will spin the big rickety wheel over the next couple of weeks. So these are, lads and lasses, that's us for another week. That was Chris asking the questions to win a few copies of his book, and we'll make that draw the next time that the 3 amigos get together. So that'll probably be next week or maybe the week after. Okay, couple of announcements. Well, you've heard us talking about the Las Vegas convention and the San Francisco conventions and the North American conventions in general, and just wanted to say that there's a convention coming up in Blackpool, and that takes place on Friday the 21st through to Sunday the 23rd of September, and looks like it's going to be brilliant fun. The boys have got a few bands lined up for the convention, and they've got the Amadans, the Ryans and the Wakes all lined up, and Friday and Sunday it's £6 a ticket, and Saturday is £12 a ticket. So check it out on Twitter if you want to get a ticket, and it is at Celtic Convention, and we might even try and do a wee thing before then and talk to some of the boys involved in it. So there you are, that's more or less us for another week. So in the meantime, check out HailHailMedia, and that is where all the Celtic podcasts are housed, apart from Celtic Underground, and everybody knows how to get in contact with Celtic Underground. But on there, oh my goodness, there seems like there's another podcast every single week being added to the agenda. And check them out on iTunes, check them out on HailHailMedia.com. That's your place to pick up all the latest podcasts from all the lads from the Huddleboard and Homeboys, Beyond the Waves. That's where Chris does his Paradise review, the Paradise previews in there, TikToks in there, Carlick Shamrock's in there, the lads from Australia is in there. I know I'm forgetting a few people and I'm dead sorry about that, but there are loads of them in there, and of course you can pick up the latest edition of Lost Boys there too. My name's Chris McGuigan, you're listening to www.lostboys.com, playing as usual Charlie and the Boys and the song of the Lonesome Boatman.